everybody, this is Charles Kelly. Welcome to the Lancer Life. Now, trick question. Charles, when's the last time you smoked a non-Cuban Montecristo? Answer, I don't know. That's why it's kind of a trick question, right? The last, I don't know, I'd say maybe dozen Montecristo cigars I've smoked have been Cuban Montecristo number 2s to be exact. But today we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna smoke this here Cuban Montecristo Platinum Series. Let me put this joker in the shade without the glare so you can see. Well, I'll give you pictures a little bit. Montecristo cigars, aside from Romeo and Juliet and Cohiba, these 2-3 brands, and there's a couple more, but really they are the flagship names in Cuban cigars. I mean, it is what it is. You can't make this stuff up. Been around forever. The Montecristo brand is owned by Altadis. So, Altadis was formed in 1999 through the merger of 2 tobacco monopolies. The 2 companies are Tabacalera and Cieta. Tabacalera is from Spain, Cieta is from France. Altadis is also half owner of Habanos, so they actually have the right to both the Dominican Republic Montecristo brand as well as 50% owner of the Cuban Montecristo brand, which means there ought be less issue with the brand name stuff if they ever figure out the embargo stuff. All right, getting back to the cigar. The cigar is a wrapper made from San Andreas Cubano seed. The binder is Dominican, used to be Nicaraguan, and the filler is a combination of Dominican, Nicaraguan, and Peruvian leaf. So it's got a really nice blend of a couple of different kinds of tobacco there. Comes in a handful of vitolas. Of course, a Churchill, a Toro. This is the number 2, Robusto Rothschild. And what they're telling me is we're going to get a meaty, kind of beefy flavor profile, full of wood, salt, possibly salted nuts. There's a lot of people out, and I got to be careful. I've had to edit the snot out of this already because I keep sneezing. I don't know why I'm sneezing. Today I've got to use this cutter, my guillotine, but I'm going to show you guys something that I've got, and I encourage you to get one of these. Check this out. This is a cigar cutter that will ensure that if I put a regular tight cigar in there, that I'm going to get a nice even cut. And I'm mentioning that because there is a kind that has a hole in there that allow the torpedo to go through, and you get a little bit deeper cut. And if you need more, just put it in there and slice it off. It gives you a nice snip at the end without taking off the shoulder. You get the cap, but you don't get the shoulder of the cigar. If you cut too deep on a cigar and that thing starts unraveling, well, that's why, because you really need a little bit of the cap on your cigar when you cut it, so you know everything stays together. That's what it's there for. It's not to cover the hole, it's really to keep the wrapper together around the side. Anyway, let's go ahead and light this joker up. See you in a second. Now, probably butchered the light a little bit. My bad. So sue me. Got a nice cut though there. Look at that. That's a good looking cut right there. Dominican Republic is where the people fled from Montecristo after the Cuban embargo, and most of the Montecristos we smoke are, you know, here in the United States. They're the Dominican Republic brand. Even back in the day when I started smoking back in the late 90s, the Montecristo was a pretty pricey stick. I mean, in 1995, $1998, shelling out $13, $14 for a stick was just not an everyday cigar. But I remember the beautiful orange wrapper on those cigars, a nice body, nice flavor. It was a classy cigar. It's a classy brand, and that's the other thing you associate Montecristo with. Now, this is my first foray into the Montecristo Platinum. Definitely getting a pepper, woody flavor. It also has that wet wood burning smell on the taste, if I can say that. A little grassy, slightly minerally. Minerals starting to pick up a little bit. Not best cigar I've ever smoked. Good cigar. Look at how the burn line has self-corrected itself. I mean, if you get a real good, well-crafted cigar, I mean, some of the mistakes you make, the cigar will kind of auto-correct for you. Right about that medium body, medium to full, just a little bit above, not too bad. Something I can give to a novice, sit down, explain. Getting more minerally though. Still that wood. I'm not a big fan of the minerally taste, but we'll see if it, you know, corrects itself as we continue to go. Now, you have a number of different lines the Montecristo does, and I'm going to be doing kind of a Monday series as I go through a number of them, and one of the cigars I'm going to smoke will be a Montecristo Open Eagle. I'm going to see what that tastes like. It's not a cigar I've known too much about, but I'm going to light it up. But I also have one of the Grupo de Maestros batch number 2, so we're going to get down with that. Okay, the minerals are starting to go away. You can see where we are. We haven't gone that far. The wood and now earth is starting to kick in. A little bit of leather. I'm not getting foods though. I'm not getting spice. I'm not getting chocolate or cocoa or cream. I'm getting earthy flavors though. But we're going to take our time. Beautiful cigar. Beautiful cigar. I don't know if I've done the video of the cigar, but bang, we're going to do that right now. Beautiful, well-constructed cap. A little bit toothy. Not oily, but toothy. Beautiful color. well constructed, not too bad in terms of the vein from the leaf. It's solid. I mean, if it weighs more than it looks like it should, so it's loaded with tobacco. I'm getting a really nice, easy draw off of this. I'll clip the cigar down to here. You see the smoke rising out of there. That's a pretty good cut, I must admit, for guillotine. Here's that ash. It's not bad. It's kind of a light gray ash. It's hanging on there pretty good. And as tobacco heats up, starting to get a subtle thin thread of pepper. It's a little floral. It's an interesting way in the background, subtle floralness. Kind of making me dry on the tongue. So that's not what I would call a balanced cigar. I've said before that if you get a cigar that makes you salivate too much, it's salty. If it dry, I mean, or it's out of balance. Cigars shouldn't make you want to spit, or they shouldn't make you want to drink. They should complement what you're doing, and the cigar is off to me from a balance standpoint when it gives you too dry or too wet in your mouth. I wouldn't call this a complex cigar yet, but I can sense some complexity coming through. It wants to be complex. Now, these are like $12, $13 cigars, I believe. Wouldn't pay $12 or $13 for this cigar. I can get a lot more for a lot less. That's where you're paying for that and not that. You know what I'm saying? But a good cigar. You know, you want to muckety muck up with the muckety mucks, you get a muckety muck cigar and smoke the muckety muck. Not a bad cigar, just not a great cigar. I'm not killing the brand, but it's good, and I'm saying that now. Let's let it go and see what we got. You know, just chill out. Just give it some time. Let's give it some patience. This baby has been hanging out in my box for well over a year. I dig that. I dig the fact that I have enough cigars and enough stuff in rotation that I can buy something, put it in the bottom of the box, forget about it, and let all the flavors kind of meld and develop and see what happens when you do that. Because I think I've had an opportunity to have a much better experience with the cigar that I've let age than the ones that you just buy right out of the store, clip it and light it and go. Especially for something that, you know, is kind of going to be a classic cigar. Okay, now the balance is there in my mouth in terms of the mouthfeel. Again, it's a, I'm going to say, a kind of complex smoke. It's not overly complex. There's some things going on there, but nothing is overwhelming me. It's not giving me too much of anything, and it's not making me go crazy about anything either. Again, it's a good cigar. And also have some fun getting their head around the different flavors and things that you're getting. The mineral has backed off quite a bit. You're still getting wood, you're still getting meat, you're still getting leather, you're still getting earth. That's good. It's good. It's a good cigar. believe that some cigars, that as the tobacco begins to heat up in here from what you do up in the front, that's where you get some of your flavor. It's not the smoke, it's the aroma from the oils off the tobacco that gets to mingling with the smoke, and as it travels up the cigar, and they kind of co-mingle at the tip of the cigar, and then they get in your mouth, and all the flavors from the oils and the smoke get in there. That's when you get that real good special stuff. So some cigars need a slow hand. Fellas, you know what I'm talking about. You can't be rushing and grabbing and groping all the damn time. Sometimes the slow hand, man, gives you, you know, what you're looking for. This is a slow hand cigar. It's not gonna knock your socks off as soon as you walk in the door. You gotta give it some time, you know, fix your martini and, you know, kick your shoes off and grab your newspaper, and then it starts to, you know what I mean? Yeah, but I wouldn't pay $13 for it. I'm just saying. So, Montecristo Platinum Series, nice cigar. All right, it's official. It's moved into complex. It's a good complex cigar. Good cigar, not something I prefer, and that's because, to me, it focuses kind of on one zone of the flavor profile, and that being earthy. As I said, I wouldn't describe coffee or cream. It does beefy, but I get more cedar, I get more earth, more leather, more inedible things, but, you know, flavors. It's kind of a narrow band there, and if that's what you like, that's what you like. It's just not my preference, but that doesn't mean it's not a good cigar. It's a good cigar. It's just not giving me a broader spectrum in terms of flavors that I would prefer. Now, here's the other thing I gotta tell you. Different mood, different day, maybe with a bourbon or scotch or something like that, feel completely different. This is something that I think I would enjoy with something light, bright, and crisp. And maybe it's because I'm hot. I mean, it's hot outside. And I'm looking for something to give me some cool. And this is a cigar today that I might enjoy with a nice, crisp, white wine. Chardonnay or Pinot Grigio. Yeah, that's right. Not a Pinot Noir. I got to get my wines right. So, there you have it. The Montecristo Platinum Series. A cigar that's been hanging around in my box just begging for me to smoke it. Well, your time has come, my friend.